When artists interact with fans undercover, it's truly amazing what could happen. Some of the stuff you don't even expect. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss another video from King Trending. Number 7. Drake. Drake is without a doubt one of the biggest and most popular singers in the world today. He's doing all sorts of kind of music and videos and is the global ambassador for the Toronto Raptors.
He's our Jack Nicholson. You can go all over the world and they'll know who Drake is.
So you think he'd be kind of hard to disguise. Well, except he went in disguise as part of him being on the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Good guy, you know.
What was better? Was it the Taylor Swift impersonation, or was it when he cried at the end because he was so happy?
You see, at the time of the show, Drake had just come off of a hosting gig at the ESPYs, and so he went undercover as a fake reporter on Hollywood Boulevard in order to ask people what they thought about his hosting skills. Some were nice about it, and some weren't. Drake played up as the best he could, and even made a fake diss track about himself. It's funny to see him do this and actually poke fun of himself, and that just goes to show you the confidence that he has in his skills and abilities, and he desires to have fun despite having a lot of haters for a lot of other reasons. So check out the full video and let the laughing commence. Number 6. DJ Khaled.
I like that.
Oh my god. Hi.
Hey, what's your name?
Graham.
My name is Billy.
No, it's not.
If somehow you don't know, Lyft is a driving service where everyday people can ask for a ride from someone. Approved by Lyft service after a background check and other proofs of being able to drive, of course. And they allow them to get all around the city, the state, and other areas in order to get to where they need to go. This is a very good service, and they also know how to make people smile, and so they decided to put some singers behind the wheel to be their driver for the day. And one of those people just so happened to be DJ Khaled.
Oh my god. I'm like shaking right now.
Icon alert.
Which you wouldn't expect to be for such a thing anyways, but he was a good sport and got it done. He did this in his town of New York City. And as the video starts out and shows though, he kind of has a hard time blending in, which isn't too surprising because he has a very recognizable voice and looks, even when he's wearing a very basic t-shirt and shorts, saying his name is Billy. As Khaled said, icon alert, yeah, you need to work on your disguise and game DJ. So don't worry about it. Don't worry though, it didn't harm the experience at all. In fact, people that recognized him instantly liked it and even had a better time with him because of the fact that they don't have to hide anything behind the disguise. And if you got in the car with your favorite music artist, wouldn't you want to talk to him or her openly and not have some awkward conversations that a Lyft driver can, sometimes bring? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyways, there were people who didn't recognize Khaled, and so he had regular conversations with the riders who didn't know him instantly and also dropped off hints of who he was, including saying keywords like keys or name dropping his own songs and such, or dropping lyrics from his beats and that kind of thing. Music stuff and all that. DJ Khaled clearly was having fun with his riders, and it shows. Talking about pets they wanted when they were kids, making them be high on life, screaming woo as they made tight turns and that kind of thing. One of the women even complimented his beard, asking if he used a special kind of beer oil, and it was really funny. I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing to ask anyone anyway. And then that same woman admits that DJ Khaled is a bit too dramatic for her, and so when he reveals himself to her, it's really great. It's no wonder why Lyft does this with a lot of people, and that's not the only one on this list that does this. Number 5. Chance the Rapper.
Randall, let's get it. Whoa. Well, what? Do you know who you are?
Chance the Rapper is one of the most famous rappers in the world and is respected because of his dedication to his indie status. So it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that Lyft asked him to be one of their drivers for their Undercover series. Now, as he was undercover, he didn't announce himself as Chance the Rapper as he drove around Chicago. That would defeat the purpose, He went by his real name, John. Now, as a good driver should, Chance the Rapper engages with his riders from asking basic questions about where they're from to talking about his dreams in life, and even dropping subtle hints that he is in fact Chance the Rapper, like saying everyone takes a chance or things of that nature. Very subtle yet very clever. He eventually though tailors the conversation to music and gets them to talk about Chance the Rapper eventually. Some of them don't even take the bait right away, yet some of them understand what's going on eventually, especially when he straight up takes off some of his undercover gear and reveals himself to them. One of the best though is when one of the people who come to the car recognize him instantly and doesn't understand what is even happening, even asking Chance the Rapper, do you know who you are? I'm pretty sure he knows who he is, but it's nice of you to ask about it just to be sure. Number 4. Post Malone.
So to spread the word, I decided to go deep undercover at this record store.
See if you can spot me.
Post Malone is definitely one of the more unique singers out there, especially because of his style of music, and his looks honestly are really recognizable. So it may be a surprise that he wanted to go undercover at a music store as one of the employees and try to give people suggestions on music. Yeah, that definitely sounds like Post Malone. But how did this come to be? Well, he teamed up with Omaz to try and get some money raised for a good cause. And in return, one lucky person will get a shiny new black Bentley, which is a very expensive car brand if you don't know. And even if you didn't win, you get to see him go undercover at a record store. So now, not so ironically, Post Malone is a bit hard to hide undercover, not because of his voice or even his face per se, because he has a lot of tattoos. Even if he wore long sleeves, which would have been hard to do in a record store in the state he was in, he likely would have been spotted. In fact, the first person he tries to directly prank just calls him out instantly, notes that the tattoos are a dead giveaway. So nice try, Post Malone. But eventually he goes around and asks lots of people and talks to them who don't know who he is immediately, and all but tries to convince them to not listen to Post Malone or various other artists, but mainly himself. One of the best reactions though is when he surprises a kid who somehow knows his music, which you could blame for the parent.
Can I help you find anything? My name's Skylar.
Oh my God. Are you Post Malone?
No, you got me already.
But, you know, whatever. And of course, when his time is done, he goes full Post Malone and ditches the record store in hilarious fashion. It's a good watch, and again, money was raised for a good cause, so you can hardly blame the guy for doing it. Number 3, Maroon 5.
Onto the subway platform and start busking in disguise. No one knows that this is gonna happen. Nobody knows that it is Maroon 5.
Maroon 5 have been on people's minds recently because of their well, interesting performance at the Super Bowl, which wouldn't even be qualified as interesting in any sense of the word, but hey. And you know, SpongeBob probably should have had a longer portion of the Super Bowl, but that's something else we need to talk about. But a few years back, they did a much better gig with Jimmy Fallon. For you see, the legendary late night host decided to dress up Adam Levine and James Valentine of Maroon 5 as bearded men, with Jimmy of course joining in the fun, because how could he not, and put them under the Rockefeller Center at the 45th Street subway to do a live performance. But while they sang Maroon 5 songs, no one knew that they were Maroon 5 in fact, because of how well the disguises were. Even Jimmy Fallon got into the singing action and played a little bit of harmonica. But the true fun of this is that because they were singing as themselves, even doing their hit song's crazy little thing called Love, they were actually drawing in quite a crowd. And it only grew as people started to hear Levine's voice, and so it grew and grew, and people were really getting into it. It's important to remember that these are New Yorkers, and they hear people singing in the subway all the time. So for them to stop and listen to this while they're going on about their day is very cool. But hey, when you hear a good voice, how can you not stop and listen? And they did, and they had fun. And they were tapping to the beat, getting into the song, and more. It was just a good time. Eventually, they dropped the act, and much of the joy of the crowd, they then performed a full-on song as Maroon 5 plus Jimmy Fallon. And of course, the crowd loved every minute of it, as they should. And it just goes to show you that you never know what's going to happen in a day until it happens. Number 2, Bon Jovi.
I go deep undercover to sing some duets here in a karaoke bar. See if you can find me.
A man like Bon Jovi doesn't need an introduction because he's already a legend in every way, shape, and form. This is a man who sold millions upon millions of records and has won many awards and has many iconic songs from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So what happens when the Bon Jovi goes and entertains people at a karaoke bar? Greatness. That's what happens. Freaking greatness. And it's glorious. Now, he didn't exactly go and do this willy-nilly, though that would have been just as glorious anyway, but rather he went and teamed up with Omaz for a charity event, for he was raising money for his Bon Jovi Soul Foundation, with the winners getting a chance to bring themselves to a weekend concert show with Bon Jovi himself. And if they wanted to, they would go and sing with him during one of his sound checks. All I can think of is, how did I miss this opportunity? Where was I? Anyway, to help sell the event, he went undercover at a karaoke bar to surprise some fans. And they did it in a really incognito way. You see, they did it by putting Bon Jovi as one of the bartenders, and naturally had the Bon Jovi songs pop up during the playlist and waited for people to start singing. And they did because, you know, it's Bon Jovi. And as the songs go on, he waited for them to botch his lyrics, and when they did, he would go up and help them without them realizing that they were singing with the real Bon Jovi. Naturally, he showed himself to them at the end and got some pretty great reactions. So let it be a lesson for you. If a bearded man that sounds like Bon Jovi is singing next to you, it's probably Bon Jovi. Number 1, Miley Cyrus.
Didn't really know that they were gonna come here this week.
They are. Have you heard about who's hosting this year? They've got Miley Cyrus as the host.
first.
Oh boy, this could have easily gone wrong. Miley Cyrus is nothing if not controversial for all the stunts she's pulled after her breakup a couple years ago, and she's made a lot of mistakes. And because of this, there's a lot of people out there who don't exactly have the best opinion of her. So leave it to Jimmy Kimmel to put her undercover as a reporter to go ask people what they really thought of her. Now, unlike the Drake undercover job, I feel like they skimped out a little on the makeup, because when you look at her in the right way, you can see her face as still Miley Cyrus. But I guess when you're still asked the questions by a reporter, you don't really look at the little details. Now, do you? Surely enough, people were really honest, and that led to some absolutely hilarious answers that Miley happily played along with. It's good to know that she can poke fun at herself and still have a good time. So, what do you guys think of these people who went undercover to make some fans happy? Who do you think did the best with their fans? Also, who do you think was the coolest while being undercover? Plus, which one was your personal favorite? And lastly, do you know any other celebrities who did this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe to King Trending, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, just a reminder that we're changing up the giveaways. From now on, we're offering the Galaxy Note 9, the one that comes with the exclusive Fortnite skin, the new iPhone X Max, which we'll pre-order for you, and the new Apple Watch Series 4, which we'll also pre-order for you. The winner gets to decide between these three. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a like, and comment the hidden message in the video for a chance to win. You got nothing to lose. Go for it.